Hey, it's Manny. The current manhunt for Venus has us going to Darpa, and if you're like me, you like to play on Heroic, and this could be a daunting task. Unlike other Heroic missions, Darpa currently has no checkpoint at the end. But this is changing in Title Update 8.5, which comes out on April 7th. So if you mess up even once, you have to start all the way over at the beginning. Even on lower difficulty levels, Darpa is a brutal, unforgiving mission. I could have played the mission on Challenging, but well, I guess I'm just a glutton for punishment. Running with a full squad also helps, but I know there are a lot of you out there that may not have a squad to play with, so you run it solo. In this video, I'm going to go over tips and tricks for encounters throughout the entire mission to hopefully help you complete it. I use a very cheesy strat at the end, but I honestly can't see it being done solo any other way at this time. Now, before I begin, I ask, if you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button and ding that notification bell so you know when I post new videos. You can also find me on Twitch at twitch.tv/Maniocrity, where I stream Friday, Saturday, and Sunday evening starting at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'd be happy to answer any questions you have. I do enjoy playing with viewers, so if you're looking for someone to run with, you can hit me and other agents up on the Militia Discord server. The link is in the description below. I'm going to apologize in advance for the length of this video. It's a long one. It took me 45 minutes just to complete the mission. I've gone back and forth about removing a lot of excess footage, but instead opted to leave it in and instead just speed up playback. I figure there may be a nugget of info in there that you need. I use two builds during this run. The first build is a shield and rifle build, and the second is a skill build focused on skill damage and haste. I'll show you my rifle build first since it's the build I will be running the majority of the mission with. I'll switch over to skill build before the final fight, so I'll just show it to you then. For my build, I'm actually running marksman specialization for the digital scope, which is on my classic M1A1. So we have digital scope, extra 5 rounds, and a crit hit chance mod laser pointer. Second weapon is Bullet King. I believe I only pull it out once at the end. We're going with the Coyote's Mask for the extra crit hit chance, 25% for range. Mostly weapon damage, crit hit chance, weapon damage, crit hit chance. Got the Araldi Holdings Pristine example for perfect focus. We got weapon damage, crit hit chance, crit hit damage, and a crit hit damage mod. Seska holster, weapon damage, crit hit damage, and headshot damage. Got the Fox Prayer's knees. I would like to get this with a third red on here. Would be nice. Same thing with a Contractor's glove. Once again, I'd love a third red on this. And for my backpack, we're going Douglas Harding, which doesn't really matter. It just has to be the best backpack I have right now. I'd like one with better weapon damage. But we have the crit hit damage, crit hit chance, critical hit damage, and a running clutch on it. Now, this is a loss of DPS, but it has saved my bacon a few times. If we look at our stats, we have 35.2% crit hit chance. With the Coyote's Mask, that brings it up to the 60% hard cap. So that's what we're looking for. Then we stack crit hit damage after that. Headshot damage is nice to have. Unfortunately, I don't hit very many headshots. And then all weapon damage is at 91. Rifle damage is at 40, which is our main weapon. Not too bad. During the mission, there's always the same number of enemies spawning at each encounter. However, the type of enemies that spawn can be different. With that being said, if you die and restart the mission, you will see the same enemies spawn again. So if you have a particularly tough set of enemies types, like you keep getting grenade dogs, you can log out and log back in to change them. As I mentioned, this video is going to be very long, so I'm not going to talk about every single encounter because a few of them are fairly trivial. So I will focus mainly on larger, tougher encounters. If there's a section I skip that you are having trouble with, let me know in the comments below and I'll let you know how to deal with it. The first encounter I feel needs some talking about is the drone lab. The encounter will start when you open the door. There'll be 4 drones that spawn. Do not run in the room. Take a few steps back, and the drones will fly down and form a nice straight line. At this point, you can scope in and shoot them as soon as they start flying straight.
Rogue striker drone detected.
Once they are taken out, run to the right and hack the computer. There'll be 3 enemies that spawn in at the same time. If they're infantry types, then try to take them out quickly. If there's a dog, then I recommend running back out of the room because it takes too long to kill a dog, drones will spawn and quickly surround and then overwhelm you. We're going to go slow and steady.
Range exceeded. Shutdown halted. Immediate medical assistance needed. Assault drones detected.
When you run out of the room, you want to deal with the drones first and other NPCs second, unless you have rushers. Take out the rushers first, then back to the drones. Use line of sight to hide while reloading and only peek enough so you can see them, but they can't see you. I find with this room, you can back up a bit and anything below the stairs cannot hit you while you are dealing with the drones. Once you take out the NPCs, get back into the area on the right. If you clear the enemies quick enough, you'll get your armor back because you'll be out of combat. Once you're back in the circle, hug the cover to the left side so you can get scope up to where the drones spawn. This will allow you to shoot them long before they become a problem. If you do enough damage to them, as they're flying down, they will stop shooting. But they will continue flying down until low enough, then they will blow up. If you're unable to take them all out before they get down, whip out your shield and take care of them quickly. I typically have to deal with 2 sets of drones while waiting for the circle to finish. Once the circle is finished, you'll get another set of 3 NPCs. Quickly run out of the room and deal with them like I mentioned earlier. Once those NPCs and any drones that spawned are dealt with, run into the room to the left and hack the computer, unless you get more drones spawning. Drones are always your first priority. Once the computer is active, you can take cover behind this set of equipment. This will give you a good clear sight of the drone's spawn point. You can start shooting the drones once you see their health bars. Same as the right side. There are 3 drones. Do your best to take them out before they get too low. The drones are tough because they will surround you. When the hack terminal bar is about halfway, you'll get another set of 3 NPCs. Once again, we're going to run out of the room, handling it the same way we did before. Now get back into the hacking area and hide behind the same set of equipment. This spot gives us good field of view for the drones and any NPCs that spawn in front of us. I usually have to deal with 1 more set of drones before the computer is hacked. Once it's almost hacked, you want to stand up out of cover ahead of time and get ready to run out of the room. Again, because you'll get the last set of NPCs. I believe there are about 4 this time. No more drones will spawn because you shut the power down. Play it safe, and you move to the next encounter. The next area we'll talk about is a robot testing ground. Once you open the garage door, turn around and run through the back of the garage. We'll stay here for the entirety of the fight. We're going to use line of sight and our shield to protect us. Take out the rushes first and the dogs second. NPCs will keep hiding behind the forklift in the room. If you let them stay there too long, you'll be quickly overrun and killed. Sometimes your best bet is just throw a grenade back there to scare them out. Unfortunately, there is no cover to hide behind here, so make sure to only peek when you're ready to fire. Not much else to this encounter except kill quickly. Also, Echo Leader, who is the boss you have to fight, has a defender drone, so you have to take that out first before you attack him. The Bioengineering Lab is another easy encounter once you know the trick, but it does take a little time because you need to wait for the NPCs to attack you. Once you enter the lab, you want to run up towards the railing until they blow up the floor. Once this happens, you'll run back and hide behind the wall with the resupply crate. We will stay here for the rest of the fight. Once again, not much to discuss other than make sure you use the wall for cover, especially when the heavy show up. You can line of sight them where they'll not even shoot back at you, but you can easily deal with them. If you're too close to the wall, you'll notice that the dot for the crosshairs is on the wall and not in the center of the crosshairs. If this happens, just take a couple steps back until the dot is back in the center of the crosshairs. In the tunnels, we're just going to use distance and choke points to our advantage. As soon as the radar picks up enemies, run all the way back to the first set of double doors. This will prevent you from being surrounded and overwhelmed. Now you can easily deal with them from a distance. We'll have to do it one more time. The next set of enemies should spawn in right around the bottom of the stairs. Run all the way back out. Play it safe. In the next part of the tunnels, you'll open up the doors and then use line of sight to take out all the enemies that spawn on the other side of the room. Do not enter the room because it will cause more enemies to spawn on the other side of the canal. Also, do not be afraid to running back if a mortar dog charges up to you. Once you deal with the first wave of enemies, then you'll enter the room and quickly exit the same way you went in. You'll deal with the enemies on your side of the canal first, and then once they're gone, enter the room and deal with the enemies on the other side of the canal. There's a mounted minigun there, so make sure to take it out first. The final section of the tunnel is the last part before the end boss. Once you release the wheel and open the doors, you want to run back to the stairs. We'll hide on the stairs and wait for the enemy to enter the room. You should be able to take them out as they come through the doorway. If you don't see any enemies for a little while, and you think there's just one left, you want to walk up slowly and peek through. You don't want to get overwhelmed or rushed from behind. Once there's no more enemies left, you're going to have to go activate a computer. Before you do, make sure you restock your ammo and then activate the computer. Once activated, run back to the same section of stairs and let the NPCs come to you. This does take some time, but it prevents you from being overwhelmed and surrounded. I hope you guys are starting to see the theme of this. Overwhelmed and surrounded. As I record this, there is no checkpoint for this mission, but Title Update 8.5 is supposed to put a checkpoint in here. I would imagine the checkpoint will be right here at this spot. Alright, before we climb the ladder and start the fight, I want to quickly show you the skill build I'm using. Fairly new to skill builds, and just quickly threw this together with gear I had. I think it works pretty well, but if you have any suggestions on things I need to fix, please let me know in the comments below. First things first, it is a complete tier 6 build where I'm stacking skill haste and skill damage wherever possible. Weapons are unimportant because we'll almost never fire them. I'm mainly using a sniper turret and cluster seekers, but I do occasionally switch depending on a few things going on in the fight. The top of the ladder will be the area we remain for the rest of the mission. The fight won't start until we touch the fence on the far end. First thing we're going to do is put our sniper turret right up here on the containers. Now we're going to run over and touch the fence, and it'll start the fight. Run back and throw our seeker over the fence. We use a cluster to stir up the anthill and the turret to take them out. We'll be able to peek through the fence under the building to target with the turret. Be careful because they can shoot back through the fence as well. You could typically strafe a little bit to the left and still be able to target them without being hit too much yourself. Every time the clusters are ready, you'll throw them over the fence and then go back to sniping with the turret. You'll continue this until all the enemies are dead. If you run out of sniper ammo or they shoot it down, just wait till it cools down and redeploy it on top of the containers. At some point, there'll be no more enemies running around, and you'll just have the boss and the left side turret left. In order to get the next phase of the fight, we'll have to remove half the boss's armor. But first, let's take out the left side turret. If you stand right here, you'll be able to target the turret's weak point by pressing shift as you aim down sight. Now for the boss. He can be a bit tricky to hit, so hop on top of the trash containers. You should be able to scope in and target the boss with your rifle. It may take a bit to poking around to get his exact spot. Given that we traded our rifle for a skill build, it'll take a few shots to get him to half hit armor. You'll know when you get him low enough when he calls in our mortars. You may not hear him, but you'll start to see the red mortar circles on the ground. When you see these, run back behind the building and start with the sniper turret and clusters again until everyone is dead. There are a couple things that make this frustrating and just plain infuriating. Those are the medics and BTSU support stations. If you see the green support station rings, immediately switch your turret out for a jam repulse and work on taking the support stations out. Keep throwing out clusters to keep them all scattered. Support stations need to be first priority because of the overheal, which just makes it miserable. Once it's down, switch back to sniper turret and work on killing the medics next. Once all hostiles are dead, you'll get a mission notification about signaling for extraction. So, congratulations, you've done what I believe not many have done or even willing to put themselves through. So, I hope you enjoyed this video and found it helpful. If you did, please hit that like button below and leave a comment if you have any questions. I'll do my best to answer them. If you'd like to see more content like this, then please smash that subscribe button, and as I mentioned earlier, you can also follow me on Twitch at twitch.tv/Maniocrity, where I stream Friday, Saturday, and Sunday evenings starting at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Until next time, agents, happy hunting.